Hey guys, this is AuspiciousAussie and welcome back to another AS Monaco series episode. This is the mid-season review, of course just after the January transfer window is shut. As you can see up in that top right hand corner, it's the 2nd of February, just before this semi-final Coupe de Ligue game against Montpellier. Anyways, let's get into transfers. Tiny little bit of activity, nothing too drastic. Of course, the last transfer I believe I showed you was Marin, of course. Okay, let's go the outs first, actually. Alright, let me see, where are we up to first? Alright, Borja went out on loan to AC Ajaccio, or Jessio, however you want to say it. I don't really know the correct pronunciation, so yeah, bear with me, of course. Um, he was complaining about game time, wanted to be loaned out, so loaned him to our feeder club, as no one else would take him. Justin Stewart. First of all, he was bought from Perth Glory. He is an Australian central midfielder, 20 determination, decent physicals, and I'd say decent technicals, but they're a little bit on the low side. Training him to obviously be a box-to-box, and yeah, should be decent. I did loan him straight out, as you can see, to Orleans Lorient, who are in the National Division, which is the third division in France. Diego Paredes, another player I signed over here for about the same as Stewart. They're both around the 500k mark. He was signed from Columbus in America in the MLS. He's a right back. Pretty decent. I mean, he's lacking a bit in the offensive fullback skills, but good pace, again, determination. 16 tackling is ideal for a fullback. 19 years old. He's only American nationality, so both of these players, if they do end up featuring, will both count towards the foreigners, as one's Australian, one's American, obviously. So he also went out and loaned to Orleans Lorient. I let Aspelenberg go out and loan to Parcos Ferreira, who are coming fourth in the Portuguese division, I think. No, they're coming eighth now. I could have sworn they're a bit higher up. Maybe they were coming fifth. I don't know. Anyway, still a decent side for him to be loaned out to, and he hasn't really progressed much coming back from that injury that he had. But I'm still hoping for good things from him. I'd like him to replace Marin if I could, and not have to spend another, like 10 plus mil on a decent player. I like to bring youth players through, as everyone does. Next player I brought in to the club was Stefano Tesserin from Standard in Belgium for 3.4 mil. Quite an expensive transfer for a 17-year-old, but as you can see, he's quite a good defensive midfielder, and will likely be playing. I think obviously he's on loan, but I think he'll either play box to box. Yeah, I think box to box would probably be his forte, as he's only right-footed, and of course he's natural in both central midfield positions, and obviously box to box is quite high up on his best roles. So yeah, he's going to look to play there. I mean, he's great defensively. He's got immense heading as well, despite his small stature. Low strength, low jumping, who cares? And good stamina, which is good for a box-to-box midfielder. Mentals aren't bad either. Would like to get that determination up a little bit though. So might look to get a tutor on him when he gets back from his loan next season. He went out on loan to Siena. They're in Serie A. Yeah, they are. Okay, that's good. Just checking. Anyway, next out was Gunzo. Of course, bringing lots of players in. Gunzo didn't play for me at all. He's really just not good enough, especially his physicals. He's a good enough player, but just didn't perform for me. Actually, is how I um, should declare his intentions at the club. He was never a performer for me. He's more just one of those backup players you play in the cup games, to give your players a rest. Rotation player, I guess you would call them. Anyway, the next player to leave was Sadio Mane. Same position as Gunzo, really. Ganzo, however you want to say it. And, yeah, sold him to Everton for 2 mil. Took like a 1.5 mil loss on him, which was not really that bad considering we're AS Monaco. And we've got money coming out our asses, so yeah. And of course, finally, Marcel Tisserand went out on loan to Genk. Not very good. Gonna sell him on next season. He's quite shit. And yeah, that's about it to talk about for him. Obviously, I let him go out on loan simply because I brought in Martin Montoya from Barcelona for just under 5 million to be potential first team right back. It's also good cover for left back as well, but he's going to compete with Coleman for the first team right back position. Coleman's suspended now, so he's going to make his debut in this semi-final, and that should be exciting for him, I guess, and for me. Anyway, that's the transfers done. As you can see, we've had quite a decent run recently. But let's go back to the PSG game. There it is, the 3-0 disappointing loss. I was so devastated after that game in the previous episode, the live com. But we did beat AS Nancy Lorraine in the next game at home, 2-1. Goals coming from Diallo and Marshall, and they got a late goal, but who cares? Also got a player sent off. We then lost to where are we? We then drew with Nice, 1-1. Of course, they're our main rivals. Fernandez getting our goal and Isarich getting theirs. Not a bad result, really. We then did lose to Marseille. Quite a few losses in this period, and I think we dropped back to maybe 5th position after this game. Nolan Roux and Andre Ayew getting his goals for our Marseille there. We then beat Bordeaux, who were pretty decent at this stage of the season, but they've really fallen back now. We beat them 2-0 away from home. Both goals coming from Fernandez, who's been pretty decent this season, I must say. We then beat Nice in the Coupe de Ligue 4th round, 3-1 at home. Moutinho, Aubameyang and Marshall, and Neil Maupay always seems to score a goal for them against us, so he got one as well. Next up was Angers SCO, beat them 1-0 at home. Aubameyang getting our goal for us there. Luke Shaw man of the match, as Kazoa did pick up an injury. Next came the Coupe de France 9th round. We beat Valenciennes 2-1. Played a bit of a second string team. Oh no, I actually didn't. I just put Rodriguez and Kondogbia in, and we got not 3 points, we progressed to the next round. They did get 2 players sent off, and we got our goals through Carrasco and Marin. AS Saint-Etienne was up next in the league, and we beat them 3-1 at home. Very impressive. Marco Marin hat-trick, 2 of his goals coming in stoppage time, and Taverneau getting one for Saint-Etienne. We then drew 0-0 in the Coupe de la Ligue quarter-final, going into penalties, and we actually won. Pretty decent, only Rodriguez missed, and 2 of their players missed, so we went through. And of course that does mean we're in the semi-final. And I think in the other game it is Marseille versus PSG. I'm not 100% sure on that. I can actually check if I just click on that. Yeah, Marseille versus PSG, I was right, yes. Anyways, back to the results. We then beat Guingamp 3-2 away from home in the league. Pretty disappointing to concede 2 goals though. Moutinho with a brace and Aubameyang with 1 as well. And 3 points. This has been a really impressive run here. All these games leading up to where we are now. Anyway, FC Lorient was up next, away from home. 1-1 draw. Yaya Sanogo, of course, as an Arsenal fan, of course he's got to score against me, but Moutinho got on the score sheet first and for us. FC Metz was up next, 3-1 at home, a nice victory. Carrasco with a brace and Fernandez again on the score sheet. Lassina Karim for Metz, but too little too late, mate, sorry. And of course the final game I played, which was a pretty impressive 2-0 victory away from home against Lille. Aubameyang with a hat-trick. And I was expecting to draw this game, which was a weird feeling. I just wasn't feeling confident coming in. Lille are a decent team, and they can always provide an upset, I guess. So that's basically it, the mid-season roundup. I'm going to play this semi-final game now. Hopefully we can progress, and if we do make the final, then I will do a live com episode separately for that final. I expect it to be at the end of the season, or maybe like 3 games before the end of the season. But if it is something like that, a few games before the end, I'll also do an end of season roundup. But I won't talk about any of the fixtures up until that point in that episode, if that makes sense. Hopefully, might be a bit premature. We might lose to Montpellier here. Hopefully we don't. I would really love to make a cup final and try and battle out for our first piece of silverware on the series. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please leave the video a like rating, and as always, head over to my channel and subscribe. to keep up to date with all my future content. I've been Auspicious Aussie, guys. I've been talking for a long time now, and I'm tired. Goodbye.